In a move that has sparked widespread backlash, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer is set to implement the largest reduction in overseas aid spending in British history. The cut will see aid drop to 0.3% of gross national income, GNI, by 2027, its lowest level since records began in 1960. The decision, a stark reversal of Labour's traditional commitment to international development, has been met with outrage from humanitarian organisations and political figures alike. The revelation comes from Ian Mitchell, co-director of the Centre for Global Development, who warns that even if the government succeeds in halving the current £4.5 billion expenditure on housing asylum seekers, the UK's aid spending will still plummet to just 0.23% of GNI. This would fall below the previous lowest ever level of 0.24% recorded in 1999. The cut follows Starmer's Tuesday announcement, where he confirmed that the aid budget, already reduced from the 0.7% target set under previous governments, will be slashed further. In 2023, nearly £4.3 billion, or 28% of the UK's aid budget, was allocated to covering asylum seekers' housing costs in Britain, raising concerns over the reallocation of funds meant for global humanitarian efforts. The decision has triggered an outcry from 138 aid organisations, which penned an open letter denouncing the move. The letter, organised by Bond, an umbrella group for UK aid charities, accuses Starmer of following the path of the United States in prioritising defence over international development. Former US President Donald Trump had previously frozen USAID funding, effectively dismantling America's International Development Agency. We implore you to reverse this decision before significant damage is done to both the UK's development and humanitarian work and its global reputation, the letter states. The NGOs warn that the cut will destroy Labour's legacy on international development and leave the UK's credibility as a reliable development partner in tatters. The effects of the reduction are expected to be severe, with funding for crucial programs in climate finance, humanitarian aid, and global vaccination efforts at risk. Countries such as Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, Ethiopia, and Nigeria are likely to see a sharp decline in UK aid. Experts say that unilateral UK aid projects, those operated solely by Britain without international partnerships, will be particularly vulnerable, as they are easier to shut down. A senior aid official described the situation as an absolute mess, adding, "With the amount already committed to refugees in the UK, and now this cut, there will be almost nothing left." The move has also triggered unrest within the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, where many staff members have already endured the department's dissolution under former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Sources report shock and distress among government officials, with an ongoing voluntary redundancy scheme hinting at further reductions in workforce morale. One civil servant remarked, "No one wants to work on closing down programs they have spent their working life setting up." Meanwhile, Foreign Secretary David Lammy is facing increasing pressure from European allies to advocate for the release of $200 billion, $158.5 billion, in frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. European diplomats argue that unlocking these funds could alleviate some pressure on the UK's budget constraints. However, the UK has so far limited its use of frozen Russian assets to interest payments for Ukrainian loan guarantees. Another potential alternative involves seizing the £2.5 billion in frozen assets belonging to Russian oligarch and former Chelsea FC owner Roman Abramovich, a move that could offer temporary relief to UK financial commitments. Adding to the controversy, sources suggest that Lammy was informed of the aid budget halving only 72 hours before the announcement. Just weeks ago, he had cautioned the US against slashing USAID's budget, highlighting the strategic risks of such a move. Development Minister Annalisa Dodds, who had repeatedly advocated for a predictable aid budget, now faces the challenge of defending an abrupt and severe reduction. The news has sparked heated debate on social media, with critics accusing Starmer of betraying Labour's principles. Many argue that the cuts undermine the UK's long-standing commitment to global development and weaken its diplomatic influence. While supporters of the move cite the need for fiscal prudence and national security concerns, opposition voices warn that this short-term cost-cutting measure will have long-term consequences, both for the world's poorest communities and for the UK's standing on the global stage. What do you think about this decision? Is the UK government prioritising defence over humanitarian aid? Share your thoughts in the comments.